Get ready to play hardball in the Kingdome.
Take me to the ball game. I want to see the Ants. The Mariners are playing hardball. Did it again and again and again. Did it again.
Princess Tours, the vacation company, brings you the best show in baseball when the San Diego Chicken plays hardball with the Seattle Mariners and the Baltimore Orioles tonight in the Kingdome.
All right, guys, we're back at Tacos and Tequila. I know we record down here at Billy DeBoer of the Reds, kind of like a spot start. This has kind of been our official let's do it down here at Tacos and Tequila. Happy to be back. Look, we're at the end of the Mariners homestand. 6-1 on paper. Couldn't be more happy. Actually, pretty goddamn happy after this weekend. Middle of the week, we were kind of feeling like, then there was a change. Mariners go on national streaming TV, I should say, and national TV. Apple TV, Fox. Mariners looking pretty damn good. They've been stretching out that league here in the AL West. They've also had a tough schedule as far as the statistics say. Maybe we're going to be going on more of that cruise control as far as scheduling goes. You would assume, Vegas would assume, 6-1 homestand. We're feeling pretty good. We also know what we need. It's pretty glaring. Mariners have, like you've said, Ninja, who's on the backside of the camera here. We can't see him here at. We can't see you, John Cena. We get it. Tacos and Tequila. But you were saying, start off, this was going to be historical. We were going to have a historical starting pitching staff, and God damn it, you're not crazy. Usually we call you Reddit crazy. You're not crazy.
Yeah, we're almost a third way through the season. We are a third way through the season. It's looking pretty good.
It is looking pretty good. Hanno, what do you guys say about that?
Yeah, I mean, there's been some things we certainly like the pitching. The hitting the last series was kind of rough, but schedule, I kind of disagree a little bit. I don't know if you're talking about the teams we're playing or how many games in a row we're playing, but as far as teams, I feel like it's going to ease up on us a little bit. So hopefully we can stretch this lead maybe to quite possibly double digits.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of saying. Like we've come through the tough part. Now we've reached cruising altitude, you would think.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean,
you would think.
We beat a real terrible, and I mean terrible, Angels team, and that was good to see them do. It's something that in the past we haven't seen them just take care of business like they had. I mean, they talked about this atmospheric river coming in weather-wise. I mean, I think it was an atmospheric river hitting-wise down there at T-Mobile.
Yeah, and we look at the we look at the, I should say, Arizona. We look at the Houston Astros series. On paper, you go into that series after a tough road trip, right? A face in the mirror road trip with Baltimore, New York, and then the trap series at the end with Washington, which you don't know what to expect. And you come home with a losing road trip, barely. Tough road trip, but you were in control of that. The hitting was obviously not there. And you get 3 out of 4 from Houston, you would sign up for that any day of the week. Correct, guys, right?
Oh, yeah. You know, definitely. I learned the new term, the mop, this week. I didn't, realize that was a term that's new to me.
And again, we didn't get that mop, and it made you feel a little bit like the same feelings you had the week before the Mariners came into town. You're like, what is going on here? Especially with the offense. Mariners win a hang-on 3-2. They had the chaos baseball that came back this week in game 2 of the series. Game 3 of the series, you had the extra innings 2-1 victory. And then on game 4, the Mariners offense were DOA. Like they flatlined. It was one of the worst hitting performances after a lot of bad hitting performances. And then we see this big change overnight. It wasn't like they had a day off. They get rid of the hitting strategist, and I don't think it's his fault. I don't feel like it's his fault. That's not what I'm trying to say. I feel like too much information. They get rid of that. They go on national streaming and national TV with Apple TV and Fox on Saturday. And it's almost like nothing is wrong here. Look how good this pitching staff is. Look how good this bullpen is. Look how long this lineup is. It's almost like the national media only got to see the good parts of the team, not what we've been tripping out on. But nonetheless, they took care of business. They win a game the next day with a strong rock performance here, like we're talking about today. They score enough runs. They pilot on in the eighth. I mean, this has been a great week for Mariner baseball after a week that I feel like we were looking in the mirror going like, okay, what do we need to improve on? I still feel like we need to improve on hitting, of course. I think anybody does. A trade should happen at some point, but got to be feeling pretty decent. Anno?
No, I totally agree with that. I mean, coming into the homestand, we knew it was going to be big 4-game series. They weren't pretty, the games against the Astros, striking out double digits every game, but somehow, some way, getting those victories in the first 3. I mean, the run differential in that series was, if not tied or even, it was one or each way or the other. So really fortunate to get those wins and kind of show the Astros that we're here to stay in a way. And then, this series, you feel, no, you can't get anything less than 2 out of 3, and we get the sweep, only our second sweep of this year. So, and convincingly, so really good to see. And I mean, the hitting, maybe it is just a thing of who we're playing. I don't know. I mean, definitely the Angels are one of the weakest teams I've seen this year, and they've come along. It'll be interesting to see what they do coming along with these other teams that are sub 500 that we got coming up.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good to see the Mariners taking care of business with the teams that they should be taking care of business with. You know, I kind of felt a letdown with the Washington Nationals. We just, came off of playing a tough Baltimore and New York squad, and we're supposed to go into the Nationals and take care of business, and we just looked a little flat. And for the rest of the season, that's how it has to be. We had one of the top 5 toughest schedules to start the season. Then from here on out, they're saying we got a top 5 easiest schedule for the rest of the season. So as long as we're taking care of business with them teams that we should be winning games against, that's going to be the difference between past Mariner seasons and this season, I think.
Hanno?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but I still say that we're going to need to add. I'm still not convinced yet, but I totally agree with that. I think to beat those teams that are in the upper echelon that we've talked about before, Myron, just ahead of us, and that are playoff contenders and probably locks, we're still going to need to do something. But yeah, real positive to see what we did against the teams that are not playing well, and the Angels are not playing well.
Yeah, we're 12 games up on the Angels now. So.
I love that living down in SoCal. I cannot stand the Angels. And everyone's like, why? And you're like, well, you're forgetting all the 20 years that I've been in California of why. But no, it is always nice to see that happen. And, last year, Hannah, we talked about it. Mariners did not make the playoffs, but there was a game that turned the Mariners seasons around. And that's when the Mariners got booed out of the stadium. It was kind of like the frustration point. I wouldn't call it the low point. You remember the game, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it was that weekend Saturday series or Saturday game against Tampa.
And I kind of feel like, and I wasn't there, and it was kind of like one of those ones where I was joining the game late, and I was like, fuck it, it's 4-0. You look at the box score, 4 hits by the Mariners, Logan gives up the 4 runs. Bullpen still doesn't give up anything. You get 4 hits, and then the offensive coordinator here gets fired, and then the Mariners jump out and have a good offensive game Friday. They have an excellent offensive game, as good as you can have. 9-0 on Saturday, and today when they needed to, they put shit together. They put good at bats together, and they made it happen. Could this be a turning point?
No, I hear you. I guess it could be you could say a turning point because of what happened, but in my opinion, there's no correlation between the hitting coach or coordinator getting let go and the team having a great series.
Okay.
Players play, coaches coach. In my opinion, especially the hitting coach, they can tell them whatever, but the players got to be able to, produce, see the ball, hit the ball. Feel comfortable up there, all those things. But it could be a turning point. We could look at it that it might be, but it also, I think also depends on who we're playing at the time. And right now we're playing the one of the worst teams in the league, in my opinion. If we were facing off against Baltimore or New York, I don't think we'd be saying that.
Agreed. Ninja?
Oh, I think it's all his fault. I'm going with yeah, it was that guy's fault. And now that we got rid of him, this is going to be the turning point because he's making them think too much. He's got them all off kiltered, and got rid of that guy. Thank God. So now we're about to go on, a tear. Finally, they're like, who I could see, everyone's frustrations with having to listen to the stupid offensive coordinator. Now he's gone. They can just play their, do their thing and play their. So yeah, I'm going to blame him.
Well, look, I'm not going to blame him completely, but I do have to agree, just personally, that too much information is not a good thing.
See ball, hit ball.
And yes, and we've talked about it before, the personnel that they've got. It's been hard to keep a steady lineup. They've had a lot of small nagging injuries this year. Mm-hmm. You've had Polanco, even Garver, who sat out earlier with this small back spasm injury. You don't know what that's like right now. He might be just trying to get out there. Well, we're not seeing the results. We saw them today. We went through a bad streak, but we've seen those injuries. We've seen what's his name, Haggerty go down. But it's also lots of opportunities for other people, which we should jump into right here since we haven't talked in a week. Ryan Bliss makes his MLB debut, scored some runs, got on base. We've seen the stealing. We saw his first hit, which is the hardest hit, right? Of course, of anybody's career. Exciting to see him. I want to see a little bit more consistency of the hits, but good at bats. He's been facing some good pitchers here this week, but you go into Saturday's game, how many runs did he score? 3. Got a couple of bases on balls, stolen base, 3 stolen bases, gets his hit. But also we still have Polanco. I don't know what's going to happen there, but it's good to see Ryan Bliss get up here and get some reps. What do you think, Ninja?
Oh, it's really, nice seeing Bliss. It's going to be exciting to, see him become a regular player. I don't think he's going to do it once Polanco comes back. They're going to give Polanco another chance. But, the future Bliss with the Mariners, I hope that happens. I don't know, we trade away Polanco this year or, But, yeah, he's fast on the base passes. He's a run creator. He battles in his at-bats. He takes walks. He's got a good eye. It's not a throwaway at bat with him, which is nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he has competitive at bats. He looks comfortable up there. He creates chaos on the bases. Everything you want to see in a young player. It's funny to me, though, that the Mariners of all teams, well, not really, but, in that situation he was put in to pinch hit, that the Mariners would put a player up to pinch hit in a crucial situation with a game on the line, and he never has had a hit yet in the MLB. That is so Mariners right there.
Yeah, that was a crazy moment. Ninja and I were sitting a couple of rows back when that happened, and I get it. It was Josh Hader, the nastiest closing lefty. I get it statistically. Maybe you want to go to if they would have pinch hit even Arias, right, for him, I'd been like, okay, I get it, right? And if you're trying to catch up with us, we're talking about game 3 of the Houston series, and yeah, Bliss got put up there, battled, got taken down, and I was also for him as a rookie going like, you sent me up against the nastiest closer, maybe Munoz is not. I mean, Munoz is getting there. Let's not give him that crown yet, but yeah, that was he's been faced with some tough situations, but also his scoring this week has come in handy. When you have a low scoring team, you make a big deal, and you should out of runs scored. And I think that's important when you're talking about this team right now, one way or another.
I heard the interview with Scott Cervez after the game, and he was talking to about why he made that decision to pinch hit Bliss, and he was like, "Well, you're on our squad, and you have to be ready to go. Everybody on our bench is ready to go." And then he also wanted to, kind of test him out and see how he performed under pressure, and that's what he said. He said, like, I want to see how, for future games coming down the road, I want to test him out.
No, and I get it. And I don't know all the National League stats. Let's not forget Hader and Rojas may have played quite a bit between Milwaukee and Arizona. So maybe I don't know what the stat was, Hanno, before I throw it to you, but maybe that was a decision. What if somebody was like 0 for 19 with 16 strikeouts? We don't know.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and we know the Mariners, they like to play their matchups, righty versus a lefty pitcher. So it makes total sense. I heard that same interview, and it's nice to see them, put a guy into the fire and see what he can do. I agree with that. But it's just funny to me that that's the way the Mariners have been constructed with their team, with not having like an extra guy on the bench. You mentioned Arias. It would have been they would have had to plan quite ahead since he's down in Tacoma to bring him up to pinch hit. But it would have been really nice to see him get his first career hit as a walk-off. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, we trust me, I have every single pitch of that pitching series waiting to be like, I got a piece of history here. But yeah, that series, you look at that Houston series, just to quickly kind of move on to that, and we can focus a little bit more here on this series that just happened. With the Houston series, you had, like I said, you had the 1-run hold on win, Munoz. Absolutely spectacular. Then the next game, you had the chaos ball. You had to go to Stanek. Huge moment. And I feel like a confidence moment for Stanek. We've seen him do well, get overused, in my opinion, in your opinion, all of our opinions. Kind of have a rough patch. Gets right. It gets to face his former team. Takes care of business. Gets the save. Ninja, you and I and Carl Tart and Heidi, we all go down and we watch the Verlander versus Kirby. Kirby gets in a little bit of trouble in a couple and gives up 1 run. By God, what a loser, right? You go into extra innings, you get that extra inning win, you get a big JP moment, which is great because everybody's been talking, well, Rojas has been happening, especially at the leadoff spot. JP needs to move down. JP has come back and been like, no, motherfucker, I'm the leader of this
took
team.
his spot back.
Yeah, and it's great to strengthen the lineup because you've seen Rojas being in multiple positions in the lineup, which he plays multiple positions in the field. And guess what? That's who he is. That he knows who he is. And I don't feel like that's a problem. You see Friday night, you get the grand slam victory from JP Crawford, and then you look at Saturday's game and you get the grand slam from JP Crawford, which was the put him to bed. Let's run the table the rest of the game. Huge week for JP Crawford. Hanno, you were the guy that said you don't replace somebody because they're injured when they've been doing it a long time. We were questioning that. I have to go on the other side of that. A lot of the favorite people that you like to listen to even were questioning that. You held strong to that, to the victor go the spoils. Let's listen to you.
Yeah, I mean, I just felt that JP is more of the veteran. He's been there. He's done it longer. Rojas is just coming along. He looks great. You've seen him kind of tail off here a little bit. But I kind of like where Rojas is in the 2-hole and moving Julio down to 3. Some of the roles are starting to get solidified right now, and the way the lineup's getting put together. And I don't know if it's the teams that are playing or they're just getting hot right now, but it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, and what a week for JP, right? Like I said, the Grand Slam on Fox, the game winner. I mean, he has a lot of these clutch moments. That's the thing about him and Cal that make them so special on this team. And it's great to see JP come back. There's doubles here. There's somebody gets on with a double. You know, we've seen that where he gets on and he gets knocked in or gets the rally going. We saw that already since he's been back. But you see these two big moments, and that's huge. That's huge for the whole team. He, besides Dylan Moore, by a few weeks, JP Crawford's been here the longest.
And his defense, that was a crazy, insane play.
Yes.
That one. That's going to be
Game
like
4. That was probably the only Mariners highlight of that game. Game 4 of Houston. How about that play, Hanno?
Yeah, great play. I mean, kind of expect him to make that play, but man, it was a tough play to make. It looked great.
Yeah, look, you got the two oldest tenured Mariners. Ty France is not too far behind him, making that play on a game that they lose 4-0. And like I said, a crucial loss, and the change with hitting.
They call it the 6-4-3 single play.
Oh, the 6-4. I like it.
Yeah. They turned a single. They turned a single play. Yeah.
Well, you know, I want to say something after a series with Houston like that. You'd go, God, we should feel good. Like I said, I've said this a couple of times this episode. On paper, Friday night's victory. It's on Apple TV. Mariners jump up to a 4-0 head start there. It all happened early. We've seen it before. One add-on run. It's 4-0. Hanno, you and I were watching our good friend Carl Tart do his thing here at the Neptune Theater, and quickly 4-0. We were surprised that the bullpen gave up 4 runs. Came on a grand slam. That's the only time the bullpen gave up anything, I believe, on this series. I don't even need to look at the sheets. I'm pretty homestand, I should say. But big moment. Cal Raleigh picking the Mariners up in this game. We're on Apple. It's an Apple TV game. And I know people bitch and moan going, I want to watch it on here. But look, I've said this before. ESPN ain't putting us on Sunday Night Baseball. So it is good that the Mariners get to go out there and take care of business. Munoz, again, comes in. Only has to get 2 outs. He only has to get 2 outs himself. What was going on there with that? That pickoff play it kind of triggered me in a different way. I was happy that it happened, but it triggered me in another way. Hanno?
Yeah, crucial point. Adele was up at the plate. Joe Adele for the Angels. He's the one who hit the grand slam off Saucedo to
made it 4-4, right?
Yeah, so 2 outs. Munoz gets Pilar on, and Adele's coming up, and you're thinking, wow, the Mariners had this big lead. What can go wrong now? But they were able to pick off Pilar going for second. He was kind of jumping around. Munoz wasn't really paying attention to first base. It looked like they had a play on, which they did. Cal gives him the signal to drop when he dropped his glove to throw over to first real quick as Pilar was taken off. Throws to first. Ty France gets the ball, throws inside the bag, and throws a nice throw to JP. They tag him out, and game over, and didn't have to face Adele in that situation. So really smart little baseball play by the Mariners, and Cal Raleigh calling it there.
Yeah, another cool thing that people aren't getting to see at home is the new Munoz introduction when they turn off all the lights and they start playing his music. And I wanted it, and I finally got it, so it was good to see. You need to get out to the game, Hanno, and take it in.
Yeah, it's pretty. Go ahead, Hannah.
Someone posted the video. I saw it, so I think I'm good. I don't need to go to any games.
Hannah's only doing road games, so nobody get this twisted. He supports the Mariners. He goes and watches them live. He went to Colorado. He's gonna come to California. We're gonna figure out some series. He goes to the road games, right, Hannah?
Yep.
Yeah. So, anyways, with that game too, in game 1 of that series, Ty France, man, he's come back alive, right? Like we've talked about, Friday night driveline game again. JP, Ty France, good games offensively, and when we get into that moment right there, we watched that moment together, and we were like, you know what? Stupid base running mistake, especially when the guy who just hit the grand slam to take you from 4-0 to here is up to bat. You got a guy on base. Dumb. It triggered me, right? Because of the Mariners base running. For once, we've seen some bad base running on the other side of the lines, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's been a lot of it, through the years of the Mariners, and it was nice to see another team do it where it benefited us. I mean, yeah, you were pretty upset. You've seen that so much, Myron. You've seen it in your nephew's little league games that frustrates you. I mean, you've seen too much, haven't you?
Yeah, no, yes. I did go to a Northwest Little League. Unfortunately, that's your Little League, so I had to go down to the slums. But unfortunately, my neighborhood, my cousin, my nephew plays on that team. Bombed a ball probably farther than anybody that.
Any Sumner?
And shut up. Well, anybody on that team goes to first, gets the turn, goes to second, tries to stretch it out to a triple, but didn't understand the concept of picking up the third base coach. And I immediately was really upset with him when he was running back, and I had to check myself and go, he's only 9. It's okay. This is a huge moment for him. But because of the Mariners base running, I was so triggered, just ready to go right at him. But shout out to Kingston. What a blast. Everybody's happy for him. I'm looking forward to the rest of the also playoff win. They're going to be in the championships next week.
So cool.
West championships up at Whitman, and now they got their guy that they counted on all year, like they literally count. He's literally like a Mitch Garver kind of character.
We'll see if Mitch Garver comes back and does something. Well, he did something today.
I would take my nephew Kingston over Mitch Garver. Anyways, and Saturday's game was absolutely an ass kicking. I mean, the only thing to complain about is that Bryce Miller didn't have as much stuff, which I thought was great because he didn't have to throw as many fastballs. He leaned on the other stuff that he had. What do you think about that, Hanno? Because you and I have talked about, we love Bryce Miller when that fastball is working, but certain teams are just gonna smash the fastball. Yankees, Baltimore, good teams.
Yeah, he displayed it once again. I mean, for most of the first couple innings, he was just peppering that fastball, and they couldn't hit it. Yeah, he moved to his other pitches, which were successful, and he killed it, I thought. It was just nice, like you said, to have a game that was, even Goldie mentioned it with A.J. Przinsky up in the box. It was a laugher. It's nice to have one of those games. You got Cal off his feet late in the game. You faced a position player for the Angels, so it was just nice to finally have one of those blowout games that the Mariners have needed, in my opinion.
Look, and you just said it right there. The bullpen needed this. I think this weekend was a big, nice weekend for the bullpen to rest, who's been picking us up all year. Even in this homestand, I believe they only had one bad inning. That was that grand slam, and that was it. The rest of the time, they've been in fuego.
Yeah, absolutely great. I mean, I don't know if they called it an earned run in the last inning of Game 3 on that air, but that new pitcher from Baltimore gave up one, so they didn't get the shutout. But yeah, I mean, that was just piddly if we're talking about really how our bullpen's been. I mean, they've been incredible. And with a day off on Monday to rest them and not having to bring Munoz in again, getting late runs to not have to bring in Munoz, quite successful homestand and series against the Angels.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I was kind of disappointed that like Garver hit that bases clearing double down the line because
God,
I was waiting for Munoz to come in. You know, I
You-
wanted to see the song come on, and I want to see everything. So like, yeah, at that point,
not during the day. I get it. And we had this thing of if you're that good of a player, maybe he should only pitch at night, right?
Mhm.
So at home, just to get the thing. Speaking of, you said one thing. We got to wrap it up here because they're kicking everybody out here at Last Call. They're kicking everybody out here at Tacos Tequila, except for us. They got I love this though. They have they have the Sandlot here, right here playing. It's been distracting me the whole time. Goldie on the mic during the Fox game. I happened to say this to the Ninja. I go, God, he seemed like they're getting a little chippy in there. It seemed like AJ Persinski was a hater. That seemed to be the general thought. And good for Goldie. I mean, like you listen to Goldie, and my thought about it is he's not Dave House. He's not Dave Sims. He's not Rick Riz. He's not one of. I love him, and he loves what we do. He's part of this new generation of. These are some wild stats. Let's think about this. Him and Gary Hill, who does the radio. If you don't listen to radio, they do a great job of that. You listen to him on Fox, and you listen to him on the main show, and you go, "This is." I can see this really belongs. I know we love him here, and he wanted to stay here, but you can tell there's some big things on the horizon for him.
Oh yeah, he's got the chops, he's got the voice, he's got it all dialed in. He definitely could be a national guy. I mean, it's nice that he put that on the back burner just to concentrate with the Mariners. As you guys know, for all his career with the Mariners here, he's been leaving on the weekends to do Fox games of the week, but he just did it because they were playing in Seattle. So, but I agree with you. There could be big things on the horizon for Goldie, no doubt.
no, yeah, I don't know if you heard, Dano, but I think yeah, Goldie signed a new contract with MLB to be part of like their national broadcast team.
Oh, didn't know that.
Yeah, so he hopefully, these are things to come, and when we get to the playoffs, we're going to have a national game with Goldie as the announcer. That'd be
which
sweet.
is great. Which somebody that knows something about the guys, because that's always been the problem. God bless Bob Costas and whoever else, right? You watch football, they don't know nothing. They talk the smack. They have their narrative. We're not gonna possibly have that big of a problem. So, anyways, we're gonna wrap this up. Oh, hold on.
Drive safe, guys. I heard it was a rough ride in.
Actually, you are right. We'll do this bad part. It was a rough ride in here to the game. Anyways, we got lots of other things that we got to talk about. We still haven't talked about Angel Hernandez. We still haven't talked about the Negro League stats and that all being brought into this is what's going on. We're excited about that, but we've had so many discussions about both subjects that we're going to just kind of do our standalone episodes with that. So we're going to get to that. Excited to get to that, right, guys?
Yeah, I need to brush up on my names and people and new records and stuff. I'm not like it's all new to me.
Yeah, and that's the thing about the Negro Leagues is a lot of the stuff. If you got something to really like go listen to the Triton show or the Triton podcast they have on Sundays. Gary Hill did a great job. And it's an amazing job of clipping stuff from around the country, from the archivists, the historians, baseball people, whatever. Like this wasn't just like, all right, we've had these on waiting around. The entire like grasp of like finding stuff and going to libraries and finding things that are documents from 100 to 80 70 years ago to find is pretty amazing. So we got a Matt Lehman cameo here.
He's going into his office.
He's going to the office. He's Myron said 30. We're going 40. We gotta look at the contract. Anyways, we're happy. Look, 6-1, guys. 6-1 on the homestand. When you and I go, let's look at these statistics and what do we want on the homestand? Exceeded our expectations, Anno.
Yeah, absolutely. Grandma Norma, it's okay. There was a Sumner in the building and they won today.
Oh yeah, and there was a Sumner the other night. 2 Sumners close by, so Grandma Norma's are all right with it. And I would say again, let's watch this one loss that we had. It's not that person's fault, a substantial loss that we might see a thing. Anyway, with that being said, let's thank Tacos and Tequila right here on Occidental. This has got to be your pre and post game stop. One of our favorite places, if not our favorite place on earth, right before a game.
Yeah, great place to pre-funk before the game and after. Love it down there.
Love it. And thank you for liking and subscribing and all that good shit. Yo, if you want that street cred, you want to be down with the rye bread, hit up at simply.core. That's at simply.core. And with that being said, Hannah, you know what time it is. Charge.
Chuck a deuce.
Charge. All right, wrap it.